What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Stocks with Mike and Tom show. We have some big things to cover in today's video. We're going to be talking about some new Russia and Ukraine updates, what's happening in the stock market, and the most important things to know right now. With that being said, let us know what stocks you are watching in the comments down below. There's a good chance that we'll cover them in the next video. But Tom, what is going on in the market?
Yeah, the market was all over the place today, Mike. And actually, early this morning, it looked like the SPY was going to have a nice continuation to the upside. But once the market opened, as we've been seeing, we whipsawed right back to the downside, ran all the way down to that 434 support. And we kind of double bottomed there at the end of the day, right along that 1,000 SMA as well. So the SPY was all over the place. We continued to see bad news come out of Russia. There was news in the middle of the day that there was going to be a third round of talks between Russia and Ukraine, and the SPY got a pretty big jump to the upside after that. I know that the second round of talks had just ended and nothing came of them. So looks like they are going to be holding a third round of talks. So hopefully that ends up going better and maybe something will get resolved. But personally, I don't see anything happening anytime soon. We can see the RSX was down big time again today, Mike, falling down to $5 at the lows, down another 20%. Look at RSX on the daily chart. This really shows how bad the Russian economy is starting to get right now.
Yeah, so RSX is basically just the ETF for just Russian stocks. And as we can see, it has been brutal lately. This thing has been halted so many times over like the past couple weeks, and it's been rough. So today it had lows of $5, and then just like a couple months ago, it had highs of 33. So it's been crazy, crazy volatile.
Yeah, it really has. And as we know, the situation with Russia is just not getting any better. I have some pretty good articles here. And JP Morgan actually came out today and said that they expect the Russian economy to shrink 35% due to the invasion and then all of the sanctions and everything like that adding on to the country. And I saw some news that there was also going to be some sanctions against some Russian oligarchs today, and they were also going to suspend some of their visas into the country. So that sounds like some interesting news. As we see, CNBC has this really good article about their economy shrinking. And then there was also news even that Elon Musk had to warn that there could be a breach in this Starlink broadband system. This is pretty big. As we know, Elon has been sending some satellites over Ukraine to kind of help them get internet with everything going on. So he said that the probability of those satellites being targeted is pretty high. And I'm guessing he means by hacks. But in general, this situation is just spiraling out of control, and it's not stopping anytime soon, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's been crazy, Tom. And then on top of that, I don't know if you saw this news, but two Russian oligarchs had their yachts seized. One was by the French government and one was by the German government. But it just seems like it's been crazy.
Yeah, it has. Even like you mentioned in today's video, Mike, London listed Russian stocks are collapsing. As we saw, lots of them were down like 90% plus year to date, which is insane to see. Of course, one of them went up, but in general, a lot of them ended up to the downside. That's pretty telling, Mike. I know that the RSX has been falling in a major way, but for these stocks to fall on the London exchange like 99%, that's just insane considering obviously some of these companies were pretty big, like given some of the Russian oil stocks. So it's just insane to see how this situation is going. RSX is down 20%, and it even hit our economy today a little bit. We had the SPY dip down in a pretty big way, especially at market open there. That was a pretty big pullback.
Yeah, that is true. So looking at the SPY, like what levels are you seeing?
Yeah, today we double bottomed around 434. So I will say it looks like 433.85 to 434 seems like a pretty big support down there. If we end up falling below that tomorrow, I could possibly see a continued sell-off to the downside. Just be careful. It might break those levels in pre-market or something like that. We have been seeing some increased activity, obviously, during after hours and pre-market trading lately because of obviously the Russian time zone is conflicting with ours. Obviously, a lot of stuff happens overnight. So we're seeing some pretty big swings in pre-market and after hours. So be careful of that. And below 434, I'm honestly seeing 432 as the next major support below that. And then obviously 430 just below 432.
All right, good to know. I feel like a lot of stocks took a beating today. Like even some of these like tech stocks like AMD and a lot of other ones. The market has just been so volatile lately, and it's tough when you see some of these like chip plays like AMD down 5% in one day.
Yeah, that's terrible. AMD was down 5%. Even the big player, Nvidia, was down 2%. Lots of these big tech stocks continue to go lower. The QQQ looked pretty bad. I know the SPY was looking bad as well, but the QQQ even broke lower at the end of the day. That shows that the tech is really selling off here. Like you mentioned, AMD wasn't looking good, but we even have big players like Apple not doing the best, especially if you look at it from market open. It really pulled back and kind of followed the SPY. So big moves to the downside, Mike. And as far as the chip plays like AMD, I could possibly see these ones going lower. Like if we look at the 180-day 1 hour chart, AMD has been having a lot of trouble breaking out lately. And with the way it started selling off today, it looks like it's starting to really fall over and start to turn over to the downside here.
True that. So, how about we share a couple stocks that normally rise when the market falls? Because I know a lot of people have been a little bearish on the market lately. So, with the first one, and arguably the most popular one, we have VXX. Basically, when the market tanks, VXX likes to rise. So, definitely keep this one on your radar. In the past, during the COVID crash, VXX just skyrocketed. If we look back throughout history, we can see it basically went from like 53 all the way up to 315 in like a month. So while it is very volatile and while it does explode to the upside when the market's tanking, it's not something you want to hold long term because as we can see, it doesn't do the best over the long term because the market normally rises too. So that's one of them. Another one that you have is UVXY. This is basically the same thing as VXX, but it's leverage, so it moves up a little bit more. We can see UVXY was up around 1.1% today, while the VXX was only up around 0.6% today. So keep that one on your radar. And then last but not least, we have SPXS, which is basically just, it does rise when the market falls. But the first two ETFs we shared focus more on like volatility, where this SPXS ETF basically just does the exact opposite of what the S&P 500 does, and it tries to amplify those returns by 3. We can see the SPXS was up 1.5% today, while the market overall was down around 0.5%. So it just does the opposite of the market and it amplifies it by 3. So definitely keep those stocks on your radar if you think the market will fall.
Yeah, definitely. I think they'll be pretty fun to play over the next few days. Obviously, these situations weighing on the market might really help these stocks move. So definitely eye them up. And I know that I particularly, Mike, love these stocks for quick in and out day trades. Like you said, they're not really good to hold, but whenever there's volatility, sometimes you can catch some pretty big moves. Like look at the move today at market open. If we go from the low today to the high of that move, that was a nice 5% pop there within just a couple of hours. So you can definitely get some big moves out of these plays. And just overall, Mike, like a lot of stocks have been going down, but some stocks have also been going up, like these potash plays, Mike. I know IPI is doing amazingly well, up 5%. And whenever we look at these stocks on the daily chart, they are exploding because all these commodities are just getting so overly priced right now.
Yeah, like even check out WEAT, the wheat ETF. It's just like all of these commodities are just booming to the upside, just like you said. And, like it's just crazy. Like whether you're looking at gold and silver, oil, wheat, corn, potash, anything, it's just booming.
Yeah, it is. Oil was actually at $116 a barrel this morning. We did end up pulling back a little bit throughout the day, but man, $116 a barrel. I know yesterday we closed above like $110 a barrel, and that was blowing my mind, but we just continued to move higher. Like you said, even gold had a great day today. GLD started popping up again, bounced off that 180 support this morning. So we're definitely seeing the commodities keep up with this momentum, and it might be a good idea to maybe grab some of these, especially if you have a big exposure in the S&P 500 or in the overall market. I really feel like gold is obviously doing very well now, but Mike, I know that we've been talking about gold for a long time this year, so it would have been a really good thing to hold, obviously, over this time span. And I think a lot of traders are gonna maybe start to realize that some of these commodities can obviously have some pretty big potential. I know everybody is always into stocks like AMC and whatever's moving the most, but sometimes you can catch some pretty good moves on like some GLD options.
Absolutely. And guys, I just want to say, if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing because we post multiple videos per day and we always have like up to the, I guess you could say, day updates, and we're always adding new things to the channel. So if you're new here, please consider subscribing. But I just want to give a giant shout out to our member of the day today, Tina C, in the YouTube comments. Thank you so much for all of your support, Tina. Tom and I really appreciate you. But Tom, do you have any final thoughts for today?
Yeah, some of these growth plays, or I should say the value plays, are doing very well. Like Walmart had a pretty good pop up today. I know Coca-Cola is looking pretty good. If we look at Coca-Cola on the daily chart, it just barely broke out today. Hopefully we can see it start to move maybe to the upside tomorrow. That would make for some good movement. But my whole point is some of these safer plays are still running up. You know, we have Kraft moving up in a good way. Carriers starting to turn back over to the upside. Like I said, Walmart, even UPS is doing well. Caterpillar had a great day. So seems like some of the value plays are doing very well. So maybe throw these stocks on the radar. It might be pretty good to play, kind of like the commodities here in the short term.
You know it. Alrighty, so let's get right into these momentum plays. With the first one, we have Netflix to the downside.
Man, Netflix just keeps falling here. Make them break below 365 tomorrow.
Alrighty, with the next one, we have RCL also to the downside.
And poor cruise lines. Go ahead and make RCL break below 7160.
And then with the last one, we have Roblox also to the downside.
Yeah, the growth plays just got destroyed today, but go ahead and make Roblox break below $45 even. That's actually a pretty good intraday support there.
Sounds good. So we are watching Roblox, RCL, and Netflix for potential day trades to the downside tomorrow, only if they break below the levels Tom listed. And if you guys trade options, definitely check out that first link in the description and the comments down below. The hybrid bot had another winner today. If you're an options trader, check out that link in the description and the comments down below for day trades, swing trades, and access to an awesome community. You can also chat with Tom and myself all day long. Today's play popped for about 20%. Yesterday's play popped for 47.5%. The day before that's play popped for 82.7%. And then the day before that's play popped for 56%. So the bot has been on fire lately. If you trade options, definitely check it out. You can cancel at any time. We have a coupon running. You could save about $41 off your first month right now. And if you don't like it, just cancel. The bot's been on fire, and I think you'll definitely like it. The link will be in the description and the comments down below. But besides that, thank you guys so much for watching today's video, and we hope you have a great rest of your day.